Illidan finally returns. The light transformation world soul. Is Illidan going to embrace the light, or is Dorn debating us? Let's see. Let's see a little bit about Illidan's return in the War Within.
Illidan might have been a little bit too rash when he decided to destroy Zera and shun the light.
I am my scars, baby.
Might all be coming back full circle. In Legion, it seemed like the day was saved. The Titans came in, imprisoned the bad guy Sargeras, and Illidan remained to make sure he was imprisoned. The day was saved, the bad guys were gone. However, so much has changed. In the last Titan, the Pantheon is coming back to Azeroth, as it was confirmed, very likely as villains, leaving only Illidan in charge of Sargeras. There are hints Azeroth...
I think Illidan and Sargeras are having a little chat, a little heart-to-heart about what's been going on. I think they're gonna... There's a chance, in my mind, that Illidan and Sargeras maybe start to see eye to eye and come back together. That's totally a possibility. Some people think Illidan's the last Titan. I think that's a bit of a reach. I don't think that's the case. But Illidan and Sargeras finally realizing that maybe, there's been some duping going on and some, they were kind of aligned, in a way where they were both pushing back against the chaos maybe. I don't know. But they certainly seem they're going to have a lot of time together. So how they emerge from that time together, I guess we'll find out.
Is a massive Titan prison mechanism, as you can see from the logos. Sargeras might not be at all who we think he is, and he might have been fighting fire with fire just like Illidan, which might be exactly what connects both of them. Furthermore, as the light will be the good guys in Midnight, it is possible that Zera predicted that the defeat of Sargeras with Fell Magic is ultimately meaningless in the long term, and that is why she wanted to convert Illidan to the light, and he might be coming back to this realization now as well. So, what is going on with Illidan, and when is he coming back? While playing WoW on PC is great, you can also check in on your characters.
And you gotta remember too, Illidan, has always had that chosen one, fantasy about him. And what do chosen ones usually do? They bring balance to the Force. Just ask Anakin. So it's possible that he ends up embracing the light at some point, or maybe using both. He's the first one who masters both. Shadow and light, who knows?
But the real deal is the game version. It has custom keyboards for various games other than just WoW, and you can enjoy AFK gaming at any time, anywhere with Game Sound. Make sure to use my code Doran to get 7 days completely free, only for the first 200 people. They also got a smart lock to turn off your PC at any time, as well as hot sales with up to 40% off on pro game versions. Check out Awesome.
It's born this way.
Before we get into speculations and what should be possible, let's just look at the facts, and that is that it is impossible for the Titans to return, which Blizzard already confirmed is happening, without the involvement of Illidan in some way, shape, or form.
I agree, he is there on the Pantheon.
Is a little bit vague, but in a way, Illidan is working together with the Titans, sort of as this independent agent, in order to ensure that Sargeras is jailed, but we all know his true allegiance lies with Azeroth. This, at the time, made sense, and it seemed like Illidan was this savior of the universe, but with the chosen way the recent lore has changed, and it has changed with like 180-degree turn, I feel like he already knows what is going on that we are going to be learning soon as well. For all of you that have followed the lore for ages, you would remember that Sargeras was like this big bad, like the devil of the Warcraft universe, but at this point, with how much has changed with the lore, he's just a major villain, but so many things are going on at the same time that he might not even...
Look, I wouldn't get on the argument. Some people, was he a villain? Look, Sargeras was certainly a villain. Man was chopping planets in half and destroying entire, civilizations and planet populations on one swipe. He was a villain for sure. But, maybe something at some point had changed, because I think he had the opportunity to take a swipe at Azeroth, but he didn't. He went with the pokey poke. And I think he wasn't trying to destroy the planet. He was instead trying to free Azeroth, which is anti what the Titans want, and he is very much anti-Titan. He hates his siblings. He hates their plans, hates what they're trying to do, and I think he was trying to foil those plans by freeing the World Soul.
be that major. So this immediately creates a huge paradigm shift where Illidan, that only really cares about saving Azeroth, is working for one out of the 6 cosmological forces, and you might know he's not a fan of any of them. He literally shattered a Naru because he didn't want to align with her and their way of running things. So in what possible scenario would he just remain with the Titans' plans and continue working as this jailer figure? This may or may not be a hint, but I feel like this is a bit of foreshadowing for what is to come. You might remember in 10.1.5 we had this time travel scenario where we had a whole bunch of crazy realities, from Merlock-controlled Azeroth to endless faction conflict to a completely different War of the Ancients. Well, in this one alternate universe, Illidan was not actually a double agent, he really was the betrayer. He not only served Sargeras and helped them win, but we can see the whole world controlled by the Legion, and it is even hinted that he killed his twin brother.
Damn.
All while essentially
why did I miss out on this lore? Hold on, there was lore where he freaking joined the Legion? What the hell? How'd I miss out on this? That sounds pretty... So it looks like if he joined the Legion, he wins.
And of
or at least the Legion wins, I mean.
Of course, I don't think this is foreshadowing of how it is going to happen.
I don't think
Illidan
that's
is going to lead a whole new Burning Legion to give Azeroth to demons. But I feel like this is just another extreme and sort of foreshadowing that we could see him working with Sargeras in some manner in the near future. Now,
that's
before
possible,
you think
certainly.
this is 100% crazy, let me just quickly set the ground for what is going on. Blizzard has been setting up the Titans as the bad guys these past 4 to 5 years, with countless documents and things we're discovering all the time, from hints that they aren't even created from world souls but inserted orders, to the fact that they essentially enslave races, they rip out world trees they don't like, they essentially brainwash mind control life and transform babies into Titan servants. At this point, it is almost 100% certain that Azeroth is not even a nascent Titan, as the Chronicle claimed, and a popular theory that at the moment is like the most well-supported crazy speculation is that Azeroth is in fact this one giant prison. Early in Dragonflight, it was hinted that Azeroth is elemental in nature, and check out the fact, I mean, the Primal Incarnate Prison, aka the Elemental Dragon Prison, is the exact same thing as the logo in the last
It's the same thing as the logo, and the outer shell is the same thing as the depiction of Azeroth in the cinematic is the same thing as the outer shell of the prison. It looks exactly like that. And I'm not making this shit up. I'm not overanalyzing. I'm telling you guys, that's going to be revealed that was just the outer wall of this ball of prison thing.
Rune and the notches on the rings are the same. There are even hints that the runes of domination magic, which we know was created by Primus from the Shadowlands, and we know Primus at one point got his powers from Amantul, the leader of the Titan Pantheon, which might have been an exchange of knowledge. He helped him protect the Shadowlands, while Primus helped Amantul enslave Azeroth. Now, if this really is the case, this in turn nullifies the entire Sargeras storyline, and in turn, Illidan as well. I mean, remember, according to the Titan narrative, Sargeras realized that the Void can be defeated, so he decided to just destroy the entire universe to get rid of this one inherent flaw, and of course, the heroic Titan Pantheon stood against one of their own because the guy just went crazy. The Titans wanted Azeroth to awaken, the Void wanted to turn it into a Void Titan, and Sargeras wanted to destroy it so that no one can get it. If the prison
that's not really what happened. I don't think he wanted to destroy it so nobody can get it. I think he wanted to free it. I'm telling you guys. This stabbing motion is not like, you know, the typical way he went for planets. And someone might say, well, he was being pulled away, but look how close he is here. Look how close he is here. I mean, look at the you can see the art before, how he's, you know, destroyed planets before. And he just totally cuts them in half. I mean, look at this. Massive swipe. Cut in half. Right? This is Sargeras destroying a planet. By the way, there's some interesting runes on his weapon here. But you think he couldn't have taken this same hit right here? I mean, look how close he is. He's totally in striking distance. I feel like if he wanted to destroy the planet, he could have taken his shot right then and there and done it. But he didn't. He went with a little pokey poke. He went just the tip. I think he was trying to break that prison we were just talking about. The same prison that was holding in the incarnates, the same one that we just talked about, from the logo right here. Maybe he was trying to poke at one of these rings, break one of these rings. I just don't see it as he was trying to destroy the planet. Because I think, like I said, if he wanted to, he totally had his shot there. And he could have done it.
point of the entire saga strongly indicates that he wasn't just trying to Hulk smash Azeroth. One of the theories was that he was trying to break the prison ring, which is why
I guess
crazy
if I
things
played the
started
video, it would
happening
say exactly what
recently,
I'm
like
gonna
the
say.
awakening of the Dragon Isles, signifying that the prison may have gotten weaker, which is why we are now hearing the whispers. It is possible that Sargeras was not in with the Titans on this gigantic prison plan, but he was too weak to rebel against them until, so he decided to turn to Fel magic because he knew how potent this was as he was constantly fighting against it. Then he managed to defeat him, but the Fel magic actually then drove him insane. Now, of course, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Sargeras is now the good guy. I mean,
he's not a good guy. Mr. Raz, you're saying he cut that planet for a reason that was a corrupt soul. Look, one thing that we know about Sargeras, though, is he wasn't just on a mission to, like, uncorrupt planets or kill corrupted planets. He had made up in his mind that the only way to stop the Void was to destroy everything, all life, corrupt or not, because in his mind, everything was eventually going to be corrupted, that the Void could not be stopped. So the only way to stop it was to end everything, just to destroy everything, and then the Void cannot corrupt it because there's nothing left to corrupt. So, you know, that's not totally true that the reason he destroyed that planet was because it was corrupt. He was just going around destroying every planet.
Trying to keep Azeroth free. He obviously did a ton of terrible things. I mean, he literally
Fine,
destroyed entire planets and civilizations, but I think Fel might have driven him crazy and off the original plan, and this is now here where Illidan steps in. Zealot at Whispers constantly degraded the Legion and how stupid their mission was, which means they probably knew the real stuff and that this surface mission was but a distraction, and I feel like Illidan, while spending time with the Titans and Sargeras, might have finally learned the same thing. Keep in mind, it's been like nearly 10 years since Legion with the time skip, and if time really does work like with Terrarian and Illyria, Illidan might have aged like 500 years, meaning he might have completely changed as well. The Titan Pantheon returning in Ulduar is not a speculation. I mean, we know that it's going to be the plot of The Last Titan. Iridicron's foreshadowing in 10.1.5 of how we will see the Titan's true face and how little they care about us is also a huge foreshadowing of them being villains. There is no way the Titans are just going to teleport without it affecting Illidan and Sargeras, seeing how Sargeras' prison is essentially tied to the seat of the Pantheon. Now, with this, I can see a few potential scenarios with
Iridicron's plan is totally to bait the Titans out, because he wants to bait them out so he can fight them and kill them. So there is totally the potential that the Pantheon is left, you know, with nobody in it besides Sargeras and Illidan, and that's when their real chatting starts.
All the obvious important storylines are relevant.
time.
I mean, Night Elves are a huge part of the current storyline. The location of Belamed that is neutral and is heavily foreshadowed to be relevant in Midnight during the Void Invasion. Tyrande is relevant, of course, as well as Malfurion. So just Malfurion, Tyrande, and Night Elves could be one of the reasons Illidan returns, but of course, not the main one. One of the possibilities is teaming up with Sargeras, or Sargeras just breaking free without him. It is possible that in prison, without the Fel, Sargeras might have returned to his old Titan form, and we learn about his original conflict with the Titans, and he actually helps us in fighting the Titans in Ulduar. Illidan might learn that he was just a pawn, and keeping him imprisoned is not really helping anyone, and if there is anyone in the universe that was imprisoned for fighting fire with fire, it is Illidan. I mean, his entire shtick was that he was imprisoned for 10,000 years because he wanted to save the world through bad deeds. So you can kind of connect two and two and see why Sargeras might make a convincing argument for why he should be freed, meaning Illidan might free him after the Titans leave for Azeroth. With this, it is of course incredibly hard to speculate. I mean, this is so far in the future. However, if he doesn't free him, with the Titans gone, his prison could get weak and he might just escape, and Illidan would be in like a Maiev type role of chasing his prisoner, which is how we might be getting both of them back. However, what I also think is an interesting scenario is Illidan embracing another power that he once declined in the past. If you guys remember the storyline in Midnight that Blizzard said is not just a Void invasion, but that we will be fighting.
Well, see, here's the thing: this overzealous light, I don't think that's what Illidan will embrace. I do think that we're gonna go into the new, Hallowfall zone and talk to these Arathi people and kind of discover what the true light is about. Because I think the light that we currently, use, and I've talked about this before, is not really the light as it is meant to be. So maybe he embraces the true light, and that's how he kind of moves on, gains more power. But I still can't imagine him embracing the same light that that the Naru tried to impress upon him before.
We will be fighting together with the forces of the light, strongly implying that the light might actually be the good guys, and sort of downplaying this entire gray area thing they have been doing for the past few years.
I think the
of
true
how
light is the good
might
guys.
actually be completely evil.
And that's what we're gonna find out.
Illidan actually deciding to embrace the light, as it is the only remaining force that has any power he could use. Fel would be back with Sargeras if he escapes. The Titans are obviously not so
I think we're gonna kill a Ridicron early too.
Zera was right. Maybe she saw this scenario happening, and he was not wise enough at the time when he decided to destroy her. So we might be seeing Illidan embracing the light, just like he had once embraced Fel in order to fight the Legion. If done right, I could see this turning out to be incredibly interesting, because that entire cinematic and the lore surrounding Zera and Illidan is quite iconic in World of Warcraft history. Blizzard has clearly stated we will fight together with the light to banish the void forever, heavily implying that they might not be the gray area villains we once thought, as I said. Maybe the
I really thought that Metzen kind of changed this lore. If you remember at BlizzCon, he did say that we would band together with the forces of the light and banish the void forever. That the way he was saying stuff like that, I feel like he kind of went back to the light is good. You know, he retconned a little bit of the whole gray area that the light had created. But like I said, the gray area to me exists in this fake light, or this not fully realized light. And we're going to learn from these Arathi paladins and stuff what the flaming light is all about, because that's the real light.
We got from Zera was that they could just
flaming,
see so far in
less
the future.
controlled
keep
version
in mind,
of the light.
Velen has this same ability, and he is heavily connected to the Naru.
Yeah,
so
no, I don't think Iridicron's probably going to die in the first expansion
Sargeras, but that is
of the
just
World Soul
one
Saga.
piece of the puzzle, one single step, and the big battle is yet to happen, which is why we even got that Anduin and the Light versus Void army vision even back in Legion. It is also possible that Illidan's return could, of course, reignite the Demon Hunter Order that is at the moment completely useless, seeing we defeated the Legion, and they might even get a new spec focusing on the light and the void. Now, of course, all of this is super far into the future, so it is really hard to speculate with any sort of accuracy, but I think it is pretty safe to say right now that the return of the Titans to Ulduar is not going to be possible without the involvement of Sargeras and Illidan, especially with the fact that the sword in Silitus is the main focal point of the entire World Soul Saga. Thank you for watching. Check out what could be the new class in the World Soul Saga by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on ancient Greek colonies in Spain by also clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
Yeah, do I think Illidan's coming back? I think that's almost a guarantee. There's no way the Pantheon and the Titans are re-involved, and we're not going to see Illidan and Sargeras at some point in this World Soul Saga. When, I'm not sure. If they're on the same side either, I'm not sure. But we certainly are going to see them. Illidan embracing the light. As it currently stands, I can't imagine that happening. But maybe this new flaming light, this less controllable light. I mean, me personally, I think Felfire is more like the light than the current light we have. The current light we have is more like Arcane, which is why I think it's more Titan influenced. The real light, the flaming light that these new Arathi humans are going to teach us about, that's uncontrollable. That's more like the Fel, and I think Illidan would be willing to embrace that.